The tale of Icarus of the Sky Islands. Long ago, not in ancient Greece, but in a parallel world where islands floated amidst the clouds, lived a young man named Icarus. Not Icarus of waxwing fame, but Icarus of the sky world, born with shimmering silver wings, as soft as silken threads. Icarus was born on the island of Delphinus, a small, peaceful haven renowned for its bountiful vineyards and sweet, honeyed streams. But Icarus did not belong to Delphinus. His soul was always drawn to the boundless sky, to the distant islands hidden within the mist. He cared little for vineyards, little for streams. He yearned only for the wind, the clouds, and the feeling of soaring freely through the air. From childhood, Icarus would spend hours gazing at drifting clouds, imagining himself a part of them, light, free, unburdened. He often climbed to the highest peak of the island, spreading his silver wings wide, welcoming the powerful winds that swept through. His wings would tremble, shimmering in the sunlight, as if urging him to fly, to merge with the vast blue sky. But Icarus's father, the craftsman Daedalus, did not support his son's dream of flight. Daedalus was a practical man, one who believed in safety and stability. He loved Delphinus, loved the vineyards, loved the simple life on this small island. He wished for Icarus to become a skilled craftsman like himself, inheriting the family's renowned woodworking workshop, not to see his son risk himself flying in a sky fraught with untold dangers. Flying is but a fleeting dream, Icarus, Daedalus would often say to his son in a stern voice. Real life is what matters. Learn craftsmanship, build a solid future on the ground, don't chase after faraway fantasies. But Icarus could not abandon his dream. The yearning to fly was etched into his very being, becoming an inseparable part of him. Each time he saw the billowing white clouds drift by, his heart would quicken, his silver wings would throb with the desire to take flight. Then, one day, a special event occurred, utterly changing Icarus's life. It was the gathering of the Sky Islands, a rare occasion, happening only once every few years. On this day, all the Sky Islands in the region would converge at a central point in the heavens, creating a magnificent and wondrous spectacle unlike any other. Icarus had heard tales of the gathering from the elders of the village, but he had never witnessed it himself. He knew this was his only chance to explore the world beyond his small island of Delphinus, to fulfill his dream of flight. As the gathering approached, the atmosphere on Delphinus became more vibrant than ever. People prepared local delicacies to bring to the festival, and the most skilled craftsmen set to work creating exquisite works of art to display. Icarus, too, was excited by the festive atmosphere, but a private longing weighed on his heart. He knew his father would never allow him to attend the gathering. His father always feared the dangers of the sky and wished for him to remain safely on Delphinus. But Icarus could not miss this opportunity. He decided to secretly attend the gathering, to explore the vast world beyond, to prove to his father that his dream of flight was not a mere fantasy. On the eve of the gathering, when everyone on the island had fallen into a deep sleep, Icarus quietly left home, carrying a small backpack with a few essentials and a heart filled with determination. He climbed to the highest peak of the island, spread his silver wings, took a deep breath, and then he soared into the silent night sky. Icarus's silver wings beat powerfully, carrying him higher and higher past the billowing white clouds, towards the rendezvous point of the gathering. The higher he flew, the more magnificent and wondrous the scenery became. Sky islands floated in the clouds, each island with its own unique shape and beauty, like sapphires, emeralds, rubies, shimmering under the silvery moonlight. Icarus gazed in rapture at the breathtaking spectacle, feeling as if he had wandered into another world, a world of dreams and wonders. He felt free, happy, and filled with faith in the future. But Icarus's journey was not as easy as he imagined. The night sky held not only ethereal beauty, but also countless untold dangers. Sudden strong winds arose, buffeting him wildly. Thick dark clouds obscured his vision, causing him to lose his way. Icarus had to battle the biting cold winds, navigate through stormy clouds, face loneliness and fear in the vast night sky. But he did not give up. He persevered, beating his wings, still heading towards the faint light on the horizon, where he believed the gathering awaited him. After a long night of tireless flight, Icarus finally reached the rendezvous point of the gathering. He was awestruck by the magnificent sight before him. Hundreds of sky islands, large and small, converged together, forming a colossal floating architectural marvel, shimmering like a giant pearl in the vast blue sky. Festivities were in full swing on the islands. Music, laughter, and cheers echoed through the air. Stalls displayed all sorts of exotic goods, talented performers showcased their skills, and delicious local delicacies tempted the senses. All of it created a vibrant and colorful tapestry of the gathering. Icarus landed on a large island, mingling with the bustling crowd. He eagerly explored new sights, savored delicious food, watched captivating performances, and made new friends from all corners of the sky world. During the gathering, Icarus met many talented and fascinating people. He encountered brave explorers who had conquered uncharted lands, gifted artists who had created peerless works of art, and erudite scientists who had uncovered the mysteries of the universe. These encounters broadened Icarus's horizons, helping him realize that the world was far larger than his small island of Delphinus. He realized that his dream of flight was not just a fleeting fantasy, but a legitimate aspiration, a path for him to explore the world and assert himself. But Icarus's joy did not last long. One late afternoon, as he was engrossed in watching the sunset on a distant island, he suddenly realized he had gone too far, had lost his bearings. He looked around, seeing only thick mist enveloping him, no longer able to see his beloved island of Delphinus anywhere. Icarus panicked, trying to fly back, but headwinds constantly hindered his progress. His silver wings began to ache, his strength gradually waning. He felt like a small, lost leaf in the vast sky, not knowing where to go. In his deepest despair, Icarus suddenly remembered his father's words of advice before he left home. "Always remember the way back, Icarus," his father had said in a somber voice. "No matter how high or far you fly, always remember that Delphinus is still home, still where you belong." His father's words were like a lighthouse, illuminating Icarus's lost path. He took a deep breath, regained his composure, and began to find his way back. He relied on the position of the sun, the direction of the wind, the familiar cloud formations. Little by little, he groped his way home. Icarus's journey home was even more difficult and arduous than his departure. He had to face fierce storms, traverse freezing air currents, and battle fatigue and hunger. But he did not give up. He persevered, beating his wings, still heading towards Delphinus, where his parents and homeland awaited him. After many days and nights wrestling with the sky, Icarus finally saw his beloved island of Delphinus appear on the horizon. He cried out with joy, his strength seemingly miraculously restored. His silver wings beat more powerfully than ever, and he sped towards the island like a silver arrow cleaving the wind. When Icarus landed on Delphinus, he was completely exhausted, collapsing onto the coastal grass. But his heart was filled with joy and contentment. He had fulfilled his dream of flight. He had explored the vast world beyond, and more importantly, he had found his way home. Daedalus, his stern father, was waiting for his son on the beach. When he saw Icarus return, he did not scold him, did not get angry, but simply embraced his son tightly, tears of happiness streaming down his weathered cheeks. "My son, you've returned," Daedalus said, his voice choked with emotion. "I knew you could do it. I always believed in you." Icarus nestled his head against his father's shoulder, feeling his father's warmth and boundless love. He understood that his father had not opposed his dream of flight. His father had only worried about his safety. And now, as he had grown, had proven his courage and resilience, his father fully trusted and supported him. From after the gathering, Icarus's life changed completely. He was no longer just a dreamy boy on the small island of Delphinus. He had become a brave explorer, a pioneer of the sky world. He had flown to the most distant islands, had encountered the most wondrous civilizations, and had brought back to Delphinus invaluable knowledge and experience. But no matter how high or far he flew, Icarus never forgot the island of Delphinus, where he was born and raised, where his parents and beloved homeland were. He always returned to Delphinus after each journey, bringing back fascinating stories and precious gifts to share with everyone. And each time the sunset painted the sky over Delphinus, people would see Icarus standing on the highest peak, spreading his shimmering silver wings, gazing at the boundless sky, smiling contentedly. The smile of a young man who had dared to live fully for his dream, had dared to overcome all difficulties to assert himself, and had found the true meaning of life in his ceaseless flights. Moral of the tale. The story of Icarus of the Sky Islands is not just a tale about the dream of flight, but also a story about the courage to pursue passion, about sacrifice and growth, and about the love of family and homeland. It reminds us that dreams can take us to new horizons, but family and homeland remain our steadfast anchor, the place where we belong. Dare to dream, dare to act, but never forget your roots and eternal values.